Here's my review of Oppenheimer. I thought this movie was incredible. And I think as of right now, it might be the second best movie of the year, in my opinion. I think Spider-Verse is still number one, just for me personally. But this one is really high up there. Like, obviously, just working with the Manhattan Project is just such an interesting and influential part of history. And just like Christopher Nolan was able to make it just so interesting, even more than it already is, at least in my opinion. And I'm not even the biggest Nolan fan. Like, I like him, but I'm not like the biggest fan of all of his movies. I think he's a little bit overrated, but I thought that this might be his best movie personally. And the acting is just incredible. Cillian Murphy, I think, could be in running up for the best Oscar for the best actor. And I think that Robert Downey Jr. might be able to get a best supporting actor as Louis Strauss. And I think that he was absolutely phenomenal in this movie, with him being on the Secretary of State and Congress, kind of like talking about all the nukes and stuff like this. Oh, and by the way, like the parts in black and white, they're actually in the future. I feel like a lot of this, which is kind of weird. Normally it's the opposite, but whenever it's in color, that's during the actual Manhattan Project. And then in the black and white parts, they're actually kind of talking about the bomb itself and like whether to like press charges against him, because Oppenheimer had a lot of like affiliations with communism, so they're kind of seeing if he was a communist and if he should be like arrested and charged for a lot of that stuff. And since we're going over, like, since you kind of know the general idea of just working on the nuclear bomb, this movie is like mainly just a ton of like math and physics. And as someone who hates that stuff, I was still able to really enjoy it because I thought that Robert himself was just such an intriguing character throughout this whole movie. And the best supporting act, like, these have great supporting actors. I mean, obviously, I love Josh Peck from Drake and Josh, and I think it's good to see him flex some actual like dramatic acting skills. And Florence Pugh is great as Jean Tatlock, where Oppenheimer was having an affair with his wife and dating her. And I thought Emily Blunt was great as well as Kitty, as Oppenheimer's wife. I thought she was great. And I will say, one thing that I really, really liked about this movie is I feel like at certain points, it actually like feels like a horror movie almost. Like, because I mean, when you really think about it, just the idea of a nuclear bomb, like, it's one of the most powerful weapons in human history, and it's only been used twice. And obviously, that's a good thing. Hopefully, it's never used again. But it just really makes you scared about the future. And like when they first tested it, like the sound mixing is great. Like it's really quiet, and then it's just super loud, and it generally is like horrifying. And like I said, I thought this movie was really good. Probably the second best movie of the year, in my opinion. And I think Christopher Nolan's best movie. And like I said, like this scene, like where they actually test the bomb, is just horrifying. But yeah, overall, I thought that this movie was great. I think it might be his best movie. Probably second best movie of the year. The acting was great. And please nominate Robert Downey.